This message brought message
Are you guys ready for the oncoming storm? Welcome back to the Countdown to Soulstorm, a celebration of Oddworld Abe's Exodus as we make our way to its eventual reimagining, much in the style of what I did for Oddworld New and Tasty Blind. And so we can address some of the extras I could have given a little more attention the first time round. But you know what I love? Easter. Speaking of Easter eggs, today we'll be looking at an extra I completely neglected the first time I Let's Played this game. Attract mode. In other words, the demo footage that plays when you leave the game idle at the title screen. I gave this a complete overhaul for Oddworld Abe's Oddysee, and we addressed all three versions, PlayStation, PC, and Japanese, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today with Abe's Exoddus, as well as the differences between those demos. But with a twist. In the second game, the same demo on multiple playthroughs can behave differently in the same version, which can have some pretty silly results, and is seldom talked about actually, and today I plan on rectifying that. We've got 23 demos to go through, starting with Demo 1 in the PC version in Necromines. And immediately you'll notice the textures crisper and much smoother in the PC version, as well as the font on the status indicators being different. And the sound effects as well for rescuing Mudokons, as well as secret passages. Both PC versions were handled by digital dialect, hence the fact of there aren't too many inconsistencies or differences between Abe's Oddysee and Abe's Exoddus in terms of their PC releases. Much in the same way that you notice a lot of similarities and assets carried across for the PlayStation versions of Abe's Oddysee and Abe's Exoddus. But first I want to talk about the Japanese versions of both. Previously we looked at Abe Go-Go, the Abe's Oddysee release published by GameBank. Abe's Exoddus also had a Japanese release, Abe 99, referencing its release year, 1999, but this was handled by a different company, Soft. And you'll immediately notice the ratio of Japanese to retained English in the game is completely different, because none of the Japanese assets from Abe Go-Go were pulled across to Abe 99. As such, none of the status indicators and none of the font styles of the signage are going to look even remotely familiar, and none of the voice clips in Japanese are going to be used from Abe Go-Go. All of the generic English ones for the slig noises will be, but otherwise, you put Abe Go-Go and Abe 99 side by side, you'll notice a distinct style difference between the two of them. Not a bad one, but definitely a distinct inconsistency as opposed to the other two versions. Speaking of inconsistencies, those lift ropes just came back for Demo 3, even though there's no lift there and it's not present in the game when you're playing. And this is preserved across all two versions this demo appears in. Because for whatever reason, Demo 3 does not play in Abe 99. It only plays in the PlayStation and PC versions. One thing I know about Abe 99 is that it gives you a new splash screen for the Soft logo before the opening credits start. I don't know if that's enough for Demo 3 to be absent, but nevertheless, that demo is not present in Abe 99 whatsoever. I know. I recorded the demo footage for all three games. I know it's not present in there. Regardless, back over to the PlayStation version because from this point onwards, every other demo is going to be present in all three versions. And again, we can see the same difference between PlayStation and PC. The softer rendering and the slightly more pixelated rendering of the PlayStation version as opposed to the smoother, pre-rendered textures. As well as the different font in the status indicators, of a sizing that's a little more similar to what's in Abe 99. Because as I discovered, unlike Abe Go-Go, Digital Dialect and Soft never partnered up for a PC release of Abe 99. GameBank and Digital Dialect did a PC version of Abe's Oddysee, but not one of Abe's Exoddus. Nevertheless, we're back to the PC version with its lovely blue mines and its lovely, solidly pre-rendered graphics. One thing I do like about the way that everything is smoothed out for the PC version is the fact that any signage that is sometimes separated in terms of the way that it renders in is completely fixed in the PC version. Some of these signs I remember weren't perfectly aligned in the PlayStation version, and you're going to be seeing as we go on, none of the signs have any misaligned pixels in the PC release, which you especially notice in the blind Mudokan zone in Demo 6. That sign is completely smooth, which was not the case in my Abe's Exoddus playthrough. But here in the PC version, nice and smooth. It is a nice touch, and it's nice to see those differences between the two. But one thing I am noticing, they've now made the trapdoors red, as opposed to the purple ones. I don't know why I'm the only one who cares about this. Also, the levers are now wooden. I didn't notice that initially. Also, occasionally when a demo is loading, you can see where Abe is spawning in, right halfway in line with the now loading. Now we're back to the PlayStation version, the Japanese PlayStation version, Abe 99 for Demo 7. And we get to see Abe frantically destroying everything in his path with a minecart. This happens in every version, and it's brutal, but it's fun to watch. Yet again, the signage showing us the differences between the Japanese to English ratio. Status indicator, completely Japanese. Welcome to and now exiting. Welcome to is in English. Tunnel is in Japanese. The numbers, they're numbers. But that is one thing that is different for Abe 99 as opposed to Abe Go Go. There's a lot more English present. Not bad, but it's different. Now we're back to the PC version for the Fleech Trials. And there is one subtle thing I do notice when I'm watching the Fleech Trials demo in the PC version. The Fleech music stays frantic through all of these puzzles, as opposed to softening off between each room like it did in the PlayStation version. But other than that, the franticness of the Fleeches still present through every room, still frustrating. You still get to see Abe going through all of these Fleech Trials. And I always remembered watching these demos before I got up to this part in Abe's Exoddus and being nervous about having to deal with the Fleeches, because Abe takes his time here, and right as the demo ends, he gets swallowed. Anyways, jumping across to the next demo, and we're now heading straight into Mudomo? Yeah, straight here, because he gets onto the ledge and then... No, it is in the PlayStation version, cool. Because I remember talking about the fact that in Abe's Exoddus, depending on where your Qualmer is sitting, Abe's happiness changes depending on his game speak. I might address this a little more when I do the Qualmer extra, but that's for another day. For now, we're in Demo 10, in the PC version. Abe's possessing some Paramites and getting them to go after some Fleeches. The reason I'm doing this in the PC version now is because this demo can actually behave a little differently. And now we're here in Abe 99, in the PlayStation version, and here's what can behave differently. The Paramites are going off that way, and then the one Abe possesses gets eaten by the Fleeches. But it expects it not to get eaten, and Abe tries to repossess another one, because he thinks he's depossessing the Paramite. Nevertheless, we're here in Demo 11 in Mudanji. From this point on, things are going to be consistent for a little bit, but they will, I promise, get a little bit stupider quicker. Showing off the trial with the Ghost Lock and the Fleeches guarding it. And depossession of the Scrap. They do a pretty solid coverage across the game across both discs, and the cool thing about this is, in all versions of Abe's Exoddus, the demos will continue to play through regardless of which disc you have inserted. The areas that are in disc 2 will still play through if you've only got disc 1 inserted, which is pretty nice. Anyways, Abe preemptively turning invisible, and he sticks around to watch these Scrubs fight. And then for whatever reason he decides to run back in the other direction, and the demo ends with a Scrab chasing after him. Anyways, we're now here in disc 2. Back in the PC version. And it's quite cool to see just how smooth things are here in the textures. Also, again, the blue mines. It's interesting that the mines stayed blue in the PC version, but they did change the trapdoors to red. I don't know, tiny thing, but I noticed this stuff. Also, I love how smooth everything looks in Fico Depot here. But now things are going to get a bit interesting. Abe's gonna drink some Soulstorm brew, and then he's gonna chant. And then he's gonna walk off. Because in memory, he thinks he's possessed a fart, and then depossessed it, and dropped it off. And then he farts off another one, and possesses that. And then, he just goes off to the side, in the corner, depossesses the fart, and runs into the middle of everything. Okay, now what he was meant to do here in Abe 99 was make a fart here, possess it, and send it off to the next screen. Also, love how the signage changes here in Fico Depot for the, access to all terminal signage and stuff. There, he depossessed it and blew up all of the sleeves. Pretty neat. Meanwhile, back here to the PlayStation version for Terminal 2. But I want to point out something very interesting. Abe is about to have a very unfortunate encounter with a flying slug. However, here in the PC version, or actually any other version, this can change depending on the game. Sometimes the slug will completely miss with the grenade and Abe will survive. I lucked out getting this, and I managed to actually get it from my footage I recorded for Abe 99 as well, which is now the version we're back to here for the start of the Executive Office of Azlex. Again, the wanted signs for Abe are still in English, but otherwise things are pretty consistent. You've got all of the voice clips in Japanese, and the signage there are baggage playing completely in Japanese as well. Squashing those sleegs, and then leaving it there. Now for the next demo, we're jumping across the Slig Barracks, which, to be fair, in terms of the game progression is a little inaccurate, because you'd have to go to Slig Barracks and Boneworks before you can go anywhere near Azleg's office, but that's neither here nor there. They group a lot of the demos based on location first, which is pretty cool. So again, we're here in Slig Barracks in the PC version. Abe's taking these Mudokons on his way up, and we're going through, I believe this is block 2? Block 2. Correct. You also see a solid variance on the level of casualties and the number of escapees as well. Now those different sound effects. That is not the way I remember Secret Passage sound effects playing, but nonetheless, that's how they play in the PC version of Abe's Exodus. Then the thrilling conclusion of blowing things up with the Shrikle, and the demo ends there. Now we jump to Block 3. This one is a fun and inconsistent one. Depending on how Abe does things, this can go a variety of different ways. First, I'm showing you the best way things can go here in Abe 99, because I love getting to show off how the game speak and the Slig voice box behave in the Japanese version. Slig goes over to the crawling Sligs, beats them up and shoots them up a little bit as well. Then depossesses the Slig. And that's how this demo is best case scenario meant to go. The worst case scenario is if you missed the crawling Sligs. Abe ignores it completely and will go on to go possess the Slig as if nothing has happened. And gets shot. There is an occasional slightly different one where he'll get past that stage, beat up one of the crawling Sligs, and it'll go turn into a Slig and shoot him. That's also different. Also, I believe that box that has the Slurgs in it had a Slurg symbol on it, which is only present in the PC version, not the PlayStation version. A weird thing. Also, Abe finishing that demo just before getting sawed in the face. Anyways, next demo here in Fleg's office. Here in Abe 99. Love showing off the game speak differences for the Japanese version. Also, the signage differences as well. I do love how it changes. It's really interesting to see just how the stylistic changes of Abe's Oddysee to Abe's Exoddus also kind of reflect some pretty distinct changes with the change to publisher for Japanese as well. I do quite like it. It does give the Japanese version even more personality, even if there is still some English retained through it. And Flag did not save himself at the end there. Okay, he really didn't save himself at the end. Yeah, if you're watching that demo in the PC version, it goes forward a couple extra seconds and you actually see Flag get chomped on by the slugs, which is pretty hilarious. I had to keep that in. But now we're here in Soulstorm Brewery. We've made a pretty solid jump in terms of the progress. We're now here in the PlayStation version, and interestingly, this does behave a little differently than the way the game would let you do it. These Mudokons wouldn't already be happy, they'd, I'm pretty sure, be depressed, and you'd need to cheer them up. And then come through and you'd need to do all of the levering yourself a little bit. But in the demo, they're already fine, as also the lift is already down when you get to this point where normally it's activated by the portal. But we've seen some pretty different inconsistencies in other demos, so that's fine. Now's where things are going to change. This can go one of two ways, and I actually forget which one I had going first. It's all down to how Abe's progress goes. Oh yeah, he gets electrocuted in the first hit. Let's try that again, jump into the PC version. Same as before, Mudokons aren't depressed, things are going on, signage is a little bit clearer here, and Abe's got some electric balls to go through. But this time he actually makes it past that one without getting electrocuted. Then jumps through the well, and I just love the one next to the lever just be like, no. Now we're here in Abe 99, one of my favorite Zoologs, and Frank, the Sling! I forgot about that, that Hellfire Combs reference. Sometimes I think that demo can result in that Mudokon getting shot, but I might just be thinking of a couple of pretty hectic runs I've had myself. Nevertheless, Japanese version. Making our way through, things are fairly standard at this point. I love how drastically different the signage is though. There's just katakana and kanji everywhere. But another thing you'll notice in the difference of how things were translated, as opposed to with Abe's Oddysee, you get a mix of katakana, kanji, and hiragana in all of the signage, in every location. Whereas in Abe's Oddysee, katakana primarily in industrial locations, and hiragana primarily in native locations, mostly with kanji. Now we're back to the PC version, to the end slate of Zoologs. I just love that Slig freaking out. I still remember getting so frustrated with this section here of Zoolog 12, but the dev team are just making it look easy as heck. Which is delightfully fun. And then of course the tear extractors. Ah, just so good. Calling the slugs back through and shooting them, and then depossessing. And then of course that Slig just getting distracted and wanting to shoot ya. Abe making his way through, and going over to the work wheel. And at least we got the Mudokons out of there. I don't know what their problem is though. It's cause they're sick, Abe. It's cause they're sick. You goof. But yes, here we are. The last demo. Demo 23. The Zoolog 4 that confused me so much and gave me way more trouble than it's worth. This is a demo I always confidently remembered from my childhood. It was always the very last one that played. And it should have been a solid indicator that you gotta make your way over the top to get to that Slig. Me like a goof, I would always forget. Then the Slig just runs into the wall and depossesses. Never pulls the lever, never lets the Mudokon out. And then Abe just chants, because he can chant for some reason. And with that, we have literally covered all of the demos. Attract mode has finally been covered on my channel. Thanks again for watching this countdown to Soulstorm Extra. And next time in the Oddworld Abe's Exodus Extras, we'll be covering the cheats and codes of all 3 versions of Oddworld Abe's Exodus. Until next time, see you later.